Good day, good disciples. It's your favorite sensei here, Sensei Mohau. And today, hope you all are having a beautiful day as your matrix will be writing maths paper 1 on Monday. I know other schools have already started paper 1 and on Monday they will be writing paper 2. So today we'll be doing algebra question 1. So this is just a sum of all past question 1 papers. So I hope you all are ready. So if you're new to our family, please press the subscribe button down there below, and don't forget to click the notification bell so whenever we post a new lesson you will be updated. And yeah, hope you all are ready, and let's start. So question 1.1 says it's a question of set numbers. So I know most usually grade 11s you all are also doing this, so hope this will also come in handy for both of you. So question 1.1, this is how we're gonna take it. Remember, since now we have a said expression here, so we have to take 4 to the other side, so that we must deal with this thing and remove the square root. So let's start. So it's 4 root of 2x2 equals to it's x minus 2. So we take this one to the other side, it will so it's gonna be x minus 4. So we have to remove this square root. We know that we're gonna do to the power of 2, so that we may remove the square root. So from here we're gonna be left with this thing, and here we have to factorize this thing. Our answer will be x squared and minus 4x plus 16. Let me change this pen, it's not doing. So is minus 8x. I'm just writing out everything in this. I'm just doing everything straightforward. So from here, what's the next step? You can choose take this to the other side or take this to the other side, but I choose to take this ones to the other side, so that we won't work with a negative x squared. So it will be something like this. It's gonna be negative plus 16 plus 2. This is x squared minus 9x plus 18. So now we can easily factorize this thing. It's x, we know factors of 9, that will give us 18, that will give us 9. It's 6 multiplied by 3. So it's gonna be 6 multiplied by 3. Then the signs are both negative. So from here we know that x is minus 6 equals to 0. X sorry for that, it's gonna be 6. So that's how we do the first question. Very easy. So now suppose in this similar thing we are given something like this. So suppose here, instead of being a positive, we have a negative. So let's say it's gonna be negative here. Remember, this negative, it's for this square root, it's for this side expression here. So now this 4 will still go to the other side, and then we will be left with minus root of x minus 2. You can do this here. We know basically that whenever we factorizing this thing here, everything, this will be removed. Why? Because of its negative multiplied by negative, you know it will give us a positive sign here, and it will be like this, remember. Or you can just take this to the other side and take x to this side here. It's gonna be like this. Then x is going to be, so it's gonna be something like this. So it's basically more or less the same thing. I'm just giving you options that you can use. Whichever one of these options that you use will lead you to the same answer. So just please remember that. So let's say in case you are given something like this, we are still here. I'm just doing a whole lot of stuff so that you can be easily prepared for whatever you may be tested with. Let's say it's 3 root. Remember also here, this 4 is the one that will go to the other side here. And remember, this 3 goes hand in glove, or it goes together. Let me put that on silent. Goes together with this root. This thing is a family here, so you cannot separate a mother from her kids. They will fight with you. So please remember, this is a family. You cannot separate one from the other, so they stay like this. You cannot take 3 to the other side. It's highly impossible for you to do that. You cannot take 3 to the other side. It will be wrong. The only one that will be taken to the other side, it's this one, because of it's standing alone. It's a constant number. This thing, it will remain here because it's a family, and then here we'll be left with this. So also here, whenever we're doing to the power 2, remember, to the power 2 here, which means we are squaring each and everything here. So which means this one will be 3 to the power 2. Remember, it's 3 to the power 2, and also this root of 3 and 2 to the power 2, we know that it will cancel out the square root. We'll be left with 3 minus 2, and here we'll be left with 9. Even though we may be given a negative answer, we square it, it will give us a positive answer like this. Remember that. So let's proceed to the next question. So now we are on 1.2. So now 1.2, whenever we're given this type of things and this type of question, and we have this thing says a statement correct to 2 decimal places, we know definitely we cannot use opening 2 brackets factorizing. It cannot happen that way. So which means we have to use the quadratic equation. So here basically in this type of questions, they just give you 3 marks for this. Why? Because they know that you'll be just using the quadratic equation. But here is where most students fail to get most marks, because of it's just straightforward. So basically students will just do everything here correctly in the calculator and just punch the answer and say the answer is 3,5, and the answer other one is negative 1,09. But then remember, doing this, writing it down is very, very, very important. You are given a mark for this. So let's try doing this thing. So let's write down everything. So it's x equals to minus b. So first of all, we're gonna take this 4 to the other side is gonna be a negative here. So it's minus b, it's minus into minus 2 plus or minus b squared is minus 2 squared minus 4, a is 3 and c is negative 4, and then the all divided by 2 times 3. So this is very important. You should write this down, and then from there on we can just use our calculator and go straight to the answer. And don't forget this thing, 2 decimal places. Make sure. So even though in the calculator our answer is 1 over root of 13 over 3, but because of they said we must correct our answer to 2 decimal, which means we must leave our answer in 2 decimal places, which means we don't have to do this fraction thing here. We don't have to do that. We just have to do it correcting into 2 decimal. It will be 5,1,54. So let's do the other one. It's negative 0,87, sorry. So this is how you do it. Remember, you are given a mark for this, and that. If you don't leave your answer in 2 decimal places, you won't get a mark, even though it's correct. Remember that. Let's proceed to the next question. So this one is just an easy one. Just bag 2 marks here, easy marks here. So here, basically, they just did that step for you. They factorized for you. So you just have to say 2 minus x equals to 0. Equals to 0, then take 2 to the other side. It's gonna be positive, divide by 2, divide by 2. Our x will be 1, and here our x will be negative 7. So that's just basically how we do it. So we're just gonna bag 2 marks here, easy marks here. So let's proceed to the next question. So on question 3, 1.4, it says 3 to the power x plus 1 plus 3 to the power 3 plus 3 to the power x minus 1. So here basically we are doing exponents. So that, remember, here let's try to put this thing in a basic format. We know this is like x. So remember, basically here it's, let's put these things in a basic format. It was like this. We know that because of its addition, it was like this first, then they multiplied and added the exponents because of, we know that the bases are the same. So the second one would be like this, we know, and the third one we just gonna do it like this. Let's take it as if that they multiplied. It was not division. They multiplied this with the other ones. So now let's try to find the common factor here. Let me find a different color. Common factor here in this is this one, and this one, and this one. 3 of them are common. So when we take out a common factor, we can still use the k rule and make this equal to k. It will still be like 3k plus k plus k. Oh, sorry, it's negative, it's 1 over 3k, since this it's equal to 1 over 3. So when we know common factor is k here, so when we take out k, we are gonna be left with 3, and here when we divide by k, it's just gonna be like 1, and here it was 1 over 3. Remember, it's gonna be basically like this. So we can add everything here. It's gonna give us 3 plus 1 plus 1 over 3. It's gonna give us 13 over 3. So let's shift this again to the original thingy. So basically here, remember I used the k rule so that you will know what happened. What did we take out and what happened. So basically this is what we left with here, and it's equals to 13. So we divide both sides by this. So here basically remember, dividing both sides by this, it will cancel out this and we'll be left with 3. So because I don't have space, so you know that here our answer will be equals to x will be equals to 1. So that's how we do. So let's go to 1.5 here. So without any waste of time, let's just go straight into it using the quadratic equation. So here it's -2. So remember it's minus b plus b squared minus 4ac. So here just basically did everything straightforward so that we won't waste any time, since this is just not really a hard question. It's basically like the one that we did in 1.2. So that's why I don't want us to waste any more time. So this one is going to give us 2.52. The second one is going to give us it's -1.85. That's how we basically do it. So let's proceed to 1.6 now. So 1.6, remember, first things first we need to do here is we must make sure we put everything in a quadratic format, which means this one starts first, and the quadratic format is like this. So you must put this thing like this first. We are gonna get a mark for that. Plus x, remember it's -x squared here, goes with the sign, plus 2 equals to 0. So here, because of our a is negative, you know we basically gonna divide everything by -1, so we can be able to factorize this. So whenever we factorize it, factors of 2 that will give us 1 is 1 and 2 when we subtract them. So it's 2, it's 1, and the signs like this. So basically here we know that our x will be -1, and our x will also be equals to 2. So this is how we basically do it. Remember here, let's say in most cases they usually give you 3 or 4 marks for this. 1 mark is for this, putting it in a quadratic format. The other marks are for you factorizing and this and this. So please take note of that. So let's move to the next question. So 1.7 is 2 minus 6 to the greater than 0. So here, before we do anything, we must just factorize this thing using the FOIL method. So it's 2x minus 12 greater than 0. So basically here it's just easy and straightforward, and we're just gonna do it like this and divide both sides by 2. So remember, since we're just dividing with a positive number, the sign will not change, so it's gonna be x is greater than 6. So that's basically how we do it. If they say we must write it down, we can also write it down this way. Remember, it's 6 and to the positive infinity basically. Let's proceed to the next one here. I just changed this from being greater than 0 to greater than and less than 0. So because of this one, it's just easy and straightforward, this one. So definitely this one will be a bit more challenging. So first things first, here we need to find the critical values here, which means we need to factorize. Let's just put it in this way first, and it's basically more or less like this one. We know it's gonna give us -2 and x is greater than 1 equals to 0. So we know our critical values are 2 and -1. So now let's put this thing in a number line so that we may see. Since remember, we're looking for the values whereby they are greater than 0, x is greater than 0. So let's just say maybe -3 till -infinity, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. So it's 1 here, 2, 3 till the positive infinity. So now here it's -1. Our -1 is here, and our 2 is here. So let's check. We're gonna use more or less like the crocodile formula. So remember, here we're gonna check if whether any value here after -1 or less than -1, if it's gonna give us, whenever we substitute any value, for example -3 inside the equation, as in the place of x substituted, is it gonna give us greater than 0 or a negative answer or less than 0 answer? Then from there on, that's where we will see that whether it is greater than or less than. Yeah? So let's try to do this one. So it's gonna be just substituting this thing in the normal equation. It's minus 3 minus 2. Let's just use a calculator fast. So our answer is 10. So it gives us a positive answer. We can even try with negative 2. It will still give us a positive answer. So you can see that whenever we go in this way, after negative 1 to the other side, it's going to give us a positive answer. So let's try with using 0. We know it's going to give us only negative 2. So here it's going to give us a negative answer. So let's try the numbers after from 2 and going to the positive side. Let's try with 3. So it gives us a positive answer still. So you can see that whenever we go in to the other side, the negative side, it gives us positive answers that are greater than 0, and here positive answers that are greater than 0. But in between negative 1 and 2 gives us negative numbers. So now you can see that the values of x must be less than negative 1, less than or equals to negative 1, and they must also be greater than 2, positive 2. Remember that. So this is how we're gonna write it down. So it's gonna be x is less than negative 1 and x is greater than 2. So remember, it's basically like this, from the negative infinity till negative 1 included because of it's a positive, it's equal, and from 2 till the positive infinity, basically like 2 greater than x, and here it's x less than negative 1. So that's how basically we do these types of questions. Remember, first things first, we need to find the critical values, which is 2 and negative 1. We need to do this thing in a number, on a number line, so we can check our values whether they're going to give us greater than 0 or less than 0. Remember, since it's greater than, we need to make sure that we need to check where our values will give us positive answers that are greater than 0. So, and then after this, we just do this thing in this way or in this way. You're gonna get marks for each. Whatever you use, it's just gonna give you marks. So it's just basically, what do you prefer? If you prefer this one like crocodile, sorry, like a crocodile, it's basically up to you. You can use it. If you prepare this one using the negative infinity and stuff, make sure that whenever it's a positive, you do a positive, you do a square bracket here. Here we cannot do a square bracket of infinity because we don't know the particular number. Remember that. Because of here, if you do a square bracket here, you might get a wrong answer. So just keep that in mind. So let's go to the last and final question for today. So down to the last and final one. So remember, the first thing that we need to do here, since it's a fraction, we just do it like the other one that we did here earlier on. Let's just treat this thing as if it's this thing, inequalities are not there. Let's just say equals to 0. So remember, first thing when we doing this thing is to find the LCD. So LCD is 6. Yes, some of y'all may say it's 12, but say it's 12. Yeah, whatever you use may still work because of it's multiplied by 2 here, multiplied by 2 here. But remember, we're looking for the lowest common one. So, but then whatever you use, it will still give us the same answer. Yeah. So I'm just gonna use 6 here because of we know that 2 gets into 6 3 times. So LCD, my LCD is 6. Your LCD can be 12. It will still give us the same answer. So x plus 2 over 6 minus okay, it's going to be like this. Remember, we have a negative here on the outside. So for now, let's just try to do this one, factorize it. it's gonna be 3x minus 9. So, and this negative one sign is on the outside over 6. So now it's gonna affect our answer here, so that it will change both sides. So it's x plus 2 over 6 minus 3 plus 9 all divided by 6. So let's proceed. Remember, this one, the negative was already here, so you cannot just leave it out in JFL. You cannot just leave it out, so please make sure you just deal with it before it deals with you. So it's x, it's going to give us negative 2, and here it's plus 11 all divided by 6. We need to remove this denominator. We just multiply by 6 both sides. Here it's going to give us 0, you know, and here we're just going to be left with negative 2 and 11. So let me just erase this because I don't have enough space here. So basically gonna leave our answer like this. Remember, we just multiplied with this denominator so that it can be removed. So what do we take to the other side? Any, you can take any. I choose to take this one to the other side. It's gonna be 11 equals to 2x over 2 over 2. So basically it's like this, and our x will be, sorry, greater or less than 5.5 or 11 over 2. So this is how we basically do this type of questions, and I really had a blast, enjoyed the lesson with you. Hope you also enjoyed the lesson too, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends, your cousins, your classmates, your buddies that the sensei is back with a fresh lesson doing algebra with us in preparation for a paper 1 maths that we're gonna be writing on Monday. So from me, your favorite sensei, it's a wrap. See you next time. Bye bye.